Okay, here in round one, we've got the choice. We're going to play first. And we've got all of our colors, and we've got some plays. I like it. Very good. Very good hand. I almost don't want to play the Wooded Foothills first because I wouldn't mind drawing a couple more lands. But I definitely I like this a lot. This looks like high pressure early on and just a good hand. All right. Tormenting Voice. Hey, not that bad of a draw, honestly. I'd much rather see that right now than a Treasure Cruise, so that panned out not too shabbily for us. I think we're going to do the Mystic next turn, although, well, I guess if we draw a land, maybe it is better to do the Lurkers. I guess the reason to do the Mystic is I'm guaranteed to be able to unmorph it next turn. Yeah, I'm going to do Mystic. So that way, even if we miss our land drop, I can unmorph it, and we can start getting some nice pressure in. So let's get our mountain. Still need a couple red sources, or another red source to be able to play Aerostorm, but that's where I think the Tormenting Voice is going to be pretty good for us. So I imagine he plays a morph this turn. Yeah. So now we can just unmorph our morph, and then I mean, I could also trade my Mystic and follow up with a Bloodfire Expert, but I like the idea of just getting in there and having an unblockable dude that he's got to deal with. He could just Debilitating Injury it, but that's okay. We are missing our land drop as well, but I think we're still okay. Even if that's an Abzan guide, ideally we get to Aerostorm point and take care of it. Does still have to come up with a solution for this Mystic at some point. All right. I imagine one of those is in an Abzan guide, but that's okay. So now we can do, well, I kind of feeling the Bloodfire Expert, but admittedly, I'm not exactly sure. He's likely getting Abzan Guide next turn. So for that reason, I probably want to play the Lurkers. So that way I can keep the mana up to unmorph and trade with an Abzan Guide, and that way keep the pressure going with the Mystic. Or just strike back for 10 damage if neither of those are an Abzan Guide. But okay, so I imagine that's an Abzan Guide. He's probably just going to unmorph it, get some lifelink going. If we draw a red source, we'll be able to take it out. Okay. Still in pretty good shape here, despite the fact he did an 8-point life swing. We're all right. We've got some options at our disposal here. We didn't draw the thing we needed, but we can still unmorph. I could theoretically get in for 10 damage here, but I think what we do is just swing with these two. Leave back our morph. So my plan is to unmorph the Lurker and trade with the Abzan Guide. So if he plays removal to take care of our Canyon Lurkers and gets in for some more damage, I think what I'm going to do next turn is Tormenting Voice, discarding probably the Bloodfire Expert, and play another Smoke Teller, leaving my Smoke Teller back. I mean, you could also have a Feat of Resistance here, which should be a problem, but just deal with it if we can. All right, that's actually fine. That's fine. So we're going to trade with his guide. We are taking damage here. Something I have to keep in mind. But I think that's actually okay for us. All right. So now I don't have to do the Tormenting Voice. I think I just swing for 5 and then get a couple chump blockers back. We could actually take the Loxodon too, which is kind of nice. So we'll swing in, play a couple blockers, and they're different colors too, which is nice. So if he has Feet of Resistance, he can't get by both of them. So he has to play removal plus Feet of Resistance to kill us, which is possible. He has 5 cards in hand. Alright, Savage Punch plus another removal spell, and he's got it. Alright, so he got us this game. It was still really close. He did win via the Abzan guide, but we just weren't able to find our mana in time. And we put up the best defense we could against it, so it's a disappointing loss, but he had a good hand. He played it correctly, and he got us, so I'm going to accept it. I don't think I've got a sideboard plan, really. I guess Barrage Boulders gets a little bit less good, only because... Why does it get less good? Let me think. Why is it less good in this match? Because he's aggressive too? I doubt he's going to be defensive with a Woolly Loxodon or an Abzan guide, so I don't feel like there's going to be as many stalled board states. I'm only basing this on game 1. So do I really think there's going to be less stalled board states? Yes. I think there will be less stalled board states in a match like this where he has just huge life swingers like Abzan Guide. So maybe I'd actually like the Dragon Scale Boon, which would let me still strike in, but possibly be better equipped to trade with an Abzan Guide. It could also just become immense. That's a nice way to finish. We were going to win the next turn, so we had to win. He had to deal with 2 creatures. He effectively did it. So, like I said, that game could not have been closer. We were going to win the next turn if he didn't have removal for 2 cards. I think we do the boon. I think I'm going to do the boon. This also could possibly up our damage count offensively, but it's a good defensive trick too. All right, let's try that. We'll play first. This hand's fine. We don't have a red source. We do have 2 of our colors. We do have a 2-drop. We need to draw lands for this hand to be good. So if we don't draw lands, we're in trouble. But if we do draw lands, we're in pretty good shape. All right, step 1 has not been completed yet, so next turn's an extremely important turn. We absolutely need to draw land next turn, or I'm going to lose a lot of confidence if we don't draw land next turn. It's very important, very, very important we draw land. All right, didn't get a land. At least it's something we can play, so not the absolute worst draw, but not the draw I was hoping for, to say the least. So very disappointed there. I'm still in shock and awe that this happens this often with 17 lands. 17 lands is the gold standard of almost every single limited format. So it's very shocking to me that I feel like I have pretty consistent mana issues with 17 lands in this format, which is just shocking to me. All right, I've just lost a lot of confidence with that play. My confidence just went out the window with that one. That was pretty devastating play there. So we are definitely in some trouble already. I guess if I can get this Dragon Scale Boon on, we'll be in better shape, but not feeling good about that. We got to that stalled board state I was thinking was not going to happen. Alright, I don't think he's got a good attack here. I doubt he does attack, actually. Oh, he does? Okay. Well, we'll trade our... Yeah, I would trade my Highland game for a warrior there. Alright, well, at least I'm playing spells, but... Aerostorm was actually the worst draw we could have since we don't have a red source. Trade off our one toughness guy that gains us life for a token. So it's pretty horrible for us, but it's either that or we take 2 damage and let him draw a card, which seems absolutely dreadfully horrible. So I'm not going to let that happen. Alright, that's a big problem. Got to come up with a solution for that. Red source helps. Guess we just swing with... Guess we just swing with Grizzly and Lurkers. So we do have the Boon, and he's tapped out, so it seems like a decent opportunity to play Boon. You could trade a Hateblade for a Grizzly, or for our Morph, both of which are acceptable at this point. You could block our Morph and then take 4. It's just doing that, so we could deal 5 to him. I guess we just Dragon Scale Boon the Grizzly, and then he doesn't even get to kill it, and we're left with an untapped 6/4. He'll be able to get in with Krumar, potentially, and draw, but I think that's fine. This at least makes him play a removal spell on it to deal with it. Yeah, Raider Spoils there is pretty brutal. I don't like our chances this game, but we're not out of it yet. I don't like, based on what I know is in his deck, I don't like this board state. Didn't attack with the Krumar. Now that, to me, doesn't make a ton of sense, but I definitely like it. So he's got the first strike, which means if I'd drawn a red source there, I could have just killed it and gotten in. Could just ditch the War Shrieker for... Yeah, I think we need to hit our land drop here. So I'm going to Tormenting Voice, get rid of the War Shrieker, because this is at least a bigger threat. Still miss a land drop, which is not great, but we can play this Mandrill, so I guess we will. I wish this format wasn't so... I just don't understand how many mana issues I have with 17 lands. It just is so interesting to me. 3/2. What could that be? What could that be? If it's a Ruthless Ripper... Oh, it's a Woolly Loxodon, right? Or is it? I, honest to God, have no idea what that is. If it's a Woolly Loxodon and I double block with Smoke Teller and Mandrills, that's a catastrophe. If it's a Ruthless Ripper and I block with Grizzly and Mandrills, he kills them both, which is definitely a catastrophe. Let's take it. If it's a Loxodon, it's bad news for us, but it's not the end of the world. Really? It was just an Abzan guide? That's the most surprising part, because how is that just an Abzan guide? Alright. Still don't get the land. It's pretty frustrating. Alright, I'm really frustrated now. Yeah, it's really frustrating. Can't find my second red source. 16 cards deep. Can't attack. Yeah, I guess we just pass. That really sucks. So I could have very easily just double blocked either way and been much better than I am now. Alright. Just need a red source. We're just going to trade a lurkers off for it. Seeker's a good card. Give me a red source deck. Give me a land. Anything. Just give me a land. Was there a point I could have used Smoke Teller and didn't? Alright, that sucks. Wish it wasn't that, but I'm going to play it face up so I don't have to worry about it later. Now I'm just kicking myself for not having Barrage of Boulders, but I guess at this point, it wouldn't kill any of his guys. It would just let me get in for extremely massive amounts of damage. No plays. Red source? No. Well, I'm going to hard cast the Mystic then. Well, 3 toughness guy, I guess, isn't that big of a deal. Four 3 lifelinker. I guess we'll trade a lurkers off for it. Could also just take the 4. Is that a warrior? It is. It is a warrior. Well, that's not going to happen then. Still can't find it, huh? All right. Well, that's unfortunate, but it is happening. So we'll get in with this guy, drop a Colossedon, and pass. At least Colossedon looks good on this board. Just a grip full of relevant cards right now, too. Still am kicking myself over letting him draw off that Abzan guide. Really hope that doesn't come back to haunt me. That's pretty ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous, actually. So if that's a Woolly Loxodon, I guess I still have a pretty good block for it. It is a Woolly Loxodon, alright. So it's in 7/7 and it's a warrior. So now I'm in pretty big trouble. If he has any removal spell, I could stand to lose everything here. So I think if I quad block, what does he do? If I quad block, what does he do? Because if he has a removal spell, I'm so dead. if I just do a double block. I'm just so dead to removal. So I think I quad block. Because if I quad block, he kills Colossedon and a Smoke Teller. God, that sucks. But I guess Smoke Teller doesn't really do anything on this board anyway. I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to play it like he's got removal, the worst case scenario. So I'm going to quad block. If I triple block, maybe triple block is the right way. Because that way, unless he has 2 removal spells, in which case I'm dead anyway. Whereas if I triple block like this, he does kill my Colossedon, but he ideally doesn't kill anything else. Alright, I think this is what we do. It's almost like we don't have a second red source in our deck. I could just kill the Krumar, and I guess I can start bashing in, but I'm not in a great position to do that. I probably do just kill the Krumar. I could kill the Bloodsucker too, but Krumar's got the first strike, so it makes sense to just hit that guy. And I think we just swing with Grizzly and Mystic. Now, he has a reasonable crackback here, but basically just the Spirit Warrior. Guess it is a warrior, though. All 3. All right, well, let's do a trade here and a trade here, I guess. We're going to take 3 and let him draw, which is a problem, but we're making some fairly valuable trades here. All right, well, that's bad for us, but I can't do anything about it. Does get to draw a card too, which is similarly bad, but we're more than halfway through our deck and still just unable to find a second red source, which is extremely irritating to say the least, but I don't know what to say. It's just extremely irritating. I can't find it. I still can't find it. This is crazy to me. This is absolute madness, craziness that I can't find this yet. It's blowing my mind that we can't find 2 of 9 red sources in more than half of our deck. Like, straight up a fourth of our deck, almost, is mountains. And we're more than halfway through and can't find more than 1. It's so crazy to me. And compound that with the fact that we have our only 3 double red spells in our hand. Just to add the ultimate slap in the face. I definitely despise how this game is going, but I just have to be unhappy with it, I guess. I cannot draw a second red source for the life of me. All right, seems pretty awful for us. Oh, still can't get it? All right, very good. Might actually be dead, I guess, huh? Yeah, I guess we're dead. Because he can just sack the Hooded Hydra and then we take 2, so. That was a extremely frustrating ending to this game, considering we just needed to draw 1 mountain the entire time to do something, but just completely unable to do so. So not satisfied in any way, shape, or form with how this panned out, but that is in fact how it's about what I was expecting. All right, well, I guess I'll see you in round 2. I hope we can draw much, much better than we did this game.